So welcome, as always, to Model Monday Live, and one of the things we do each week on Model Monday Live is we host a live solve of one of the challenges. What we do is we post a very special challenge. So you see here, it says Access Full Library. So we're going to go in here to Access Full Library, and once we do this, once we go into Access Full Library, we can see this is where we can access our library of over 300 of these 2D to 3D CAD challenges. So you can look at a 2D drawing and you can attempt to turn that into a 3D model using any 3D CAD system. You can enter in the mass, and if the mass is correct, you'll earn a point on our leaderboard. And if the mass is not correct, then you have to continue trying. One of the fun things about these challenges is that you can see here that 100 people have solved this one, and it's got an average time of 19 minutes and 53 seconds. So that makes it fun because it makes it, it gives you a goal to strive for. See if you can solve it in under the average time. And with 100 people solving this, we have a pretty nice sample set there, so you can kind of figure out where you land against the field. So there's usually about 10 challenges that are totally for free for anybody who's getting started. And then if you like that, you can unlock the entire library. But each week we work with a sponsor, and right now our sponsor is Xometry. You can visit them at xometry.com. You can actually save some money with a coupon code here on your first order. And what our sponsor does is helps us put up some challenges that are free for everyone to try and retry again, kind of get the full experience of Practice Models Premium. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say that I want to try this challenge here. This one's called 26-03-08. And while I'm solving it, our amazing chat pros are also trying to solve this live during this live episode of Model Monday Live. So you can see here that I'm going to say, try this one. You can see 8 people have tried it so far. The solve time's really not that accurate on this one yet. We need to get into, like 50, 60 users to really get this to average out, because right now they've gotten a sneak peek of this challenge before they've actually logged into the app. But you can see here that I'm going to say try again, and we're going to try to solve this thing using Onshape. So here we go. We're going to reveal the drawing in 3, 2, 1, go. And so the question here for this drawing is, what is the mass of this multi-body part or assembly in 0.xxx pounds? And the tolerance here is plus or minus 0.001 pounds. So this is kind of a cool part. A lot of times when we are creating these models for the library, we walk around the office or we walk around the house and we find actual real world components and we try to model them up. And what makes this component kind of interesting is that we've got this threaded insert. We've got this threaded insert on the bottom. Okay, and then there's a hole on top here for this machine screw to hold these two components together. And what's kind of cool is that in order for these two components together, they really can't go together with a true one-to-one fit. You need to incorporate some kind of a gap between those components to fit them together. Very common in woodworking. And then finally on the bottom here, you see we've got some extra components that are of a different material. So we're going to work in some multi-material into this design. So it's always fun to look at parts that exist in the real world and then see if you can't model them up in 3D CAD. So for this model here, I think what I'll probably do is I'll start by creating these circles here. I'll probably just make all 4 of them because it's really easy to lock a circle to a quadrant, and then I'll make them all equal to one another, and I'll give them a 1-inch diameter. Now this challenge is in inches and pounds, so I have to remember to set my workspace units to inches before I get too deep into the challenge. And then what I'll do is after I've got those 4 posts extruded, well, one thing is the post is extruded to 7.5 millimeters high, or inches high, but it's also starting at an offset of 0.25. So it's really only going up 7.25 from that 0.25 offset. So I'll probably incorporate that into that first extrusion. And then I'll create that second extrusion, which is for these feet. You can see the feet here are concentric to the post, and it looks like the feet have a diameter of 0.9 inches. So 0.9 inch feet, and then we'll extrude them back down that 0.25 inches. That should give us the geometry for the feet. Now we're going to get to the point where we're ready to blend these two together. And there's a couple ways you could do this. One way would be to maybe create a new sketch plane 3.25 inches up from the bottom. And then after you create that sketch plane, you could create this shape here. You could create this like plus shape, or you could create, 2 rectangles, or, however you want to do it. That's definitely one way to create that geometry. And then you could extrude that geometry up to 1 inch. But another way to create this geometry would be just to sketch here on what is essentially the right plane and the front plane. So we could create a rectangle here, and then create a smaller rectangle on the inside for that notch. And that's going to give us the geometry for that brace. And then we could do the same thing over here on this view. And I think of the two, this is actually probably a little easier, even though you would do it in two separate sketches. I just think it's going to be easier to get those notch shapes in place if we do it this way. So I think that's going to be the method that I'm going to use. And that's going to leave me with an incorrect answer because I have not yet gone in and added in that counter bore on the top and then the counter bore on the bottom for the threaded insert. So then we're going to try to make sure that we add that. And of course, we've also got this chamfer here at the top of these posts. Now, a different way of doing this might be to create the post and create the foot at the bottom and then do a circular pattern of those. That would certainly work as well. I think either method is fine. It just depends on how complicated the geometry gets. You know, it's really easy just to add those chamfers in all 4 spots. It's really easy to add those 4 circles at the bottom. So, you know, I think you can make the argument to go either way, but it's always good to make a pattern. Patterns are always, you know, a good solution and help you keep your geometry consistent. So now that we've got this geometry, now that we've got this game plan in place, I know we took about 3.5 minutes to come up with a game plan, but I think it's always important to come up with a game plan before you jump into your 3D CAD. And if you agree, be sure to hit the like button on this video. Now we're going to click this open in a new window. That way we can make this view of the drawing a little bit bigger. We can drag this over to our second monitor. And now I'm going to move this over to this side of the screen so we can kind of keep an eye on the clock. And let's jump into Onshape here and see if we can make some magic here, see if we can make this thing happen. So here we are in Onshape. And in Onshape, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to create a new document. I'm going to call this 26-03-08 stand for plant pot. And if you guys are interested in looking up this model, I am going to create this in the public space. So if you get stuck trying to create this, or if you just want to see what my history tree looks like, you can log into Onshape either using a free account or a paid account, and then you can actually take a look at my model here. So now that I've got that geometry in place, or that starting document in place here, first thing I'm going to do is click up here and go into workspace units. Okay, I see Robin in the chat says, I love inches and pounds and seconds. So we're going to say here that we're going to be working in inches and pounds here. And we're going to hit the green check mark. And then we're going to go to the top plane, begin a new sketch. And I'm going to press N to get normal 2. Here I'm using the letter S on my keyboard to bring up my S key menu, a common menu that we use in Onshape. And we're going to create a circle here that has a diameter of 10 inches. And then once we create that circle with the diameter of 10 inches, we can click on that circle and press Q, and that's going to make that circle for construction. And so now I'm going to go back to the circle command, and I'm going to drop in a circle here on this quadrant, and I'll make that circle 1 inch. And now how do I know I'm dropping it on the quadrant? Well, it's horizontal to the origin, and it's coincident to the circle. It's vertical to the origin and coincident to the circle. It's horizontal to the origin and coincident to the circle. Then I'm going to hit escape. And then once I hit escape there, I'm going to click on this, and this. So see, 4 things are selected. I'm going to press E on my keyboard, E for equal. Now those are all equal. S on my keyboard, and then jump into extrude. And then for this extrude, what I'm going to be doing here, whoops, I want this to be a solid extrude. What I'm going to be doing with this extrusion is I'm going to be bringing it up to a height of 7.25 inches, and I'm going to set a starting offset here of 0.25 inches. So instead of starting right on the top plane, I'm going to start just a little bit off from the top plane, 0.25 off from the top plane. Now what I can do is I can pick here on one of these faces and begin a new sketch and get normal 2. And then I can create the other 4 circles. So right here, right at the center, make a circle here, 0.9, and then just kind of repeat what I did a moment ago. Make this circle here, this circle here, this circle here. Now, like I said, you could also certainly create the one setup here, like the post and the circle and the chamfer, and then you could just do a circular pattern. I just think that this geometry comes together so quickly, it's kind of a marginal decision. So I'm going to go extrude here. This is going to be 0.25, and then we do want to add new parts down here in the parts list. So that means that here in the extrude command, we have to make sure that we're choosing new and not add. We're not trying to merge to the existing bodies. We're trying to make these 4 new parts here. So now I've got those 4 plastic feet on the bottom. Now we're ready to create maybe the chamfer that's up on the top here. So S key chamfer. One of the things I love about Onshape compared to SolidWorks, where I came from, is that we can do fillets and chamfers on multiple bodies simultaneously, where in SolidWorks I would get blocked from this. It would say you can't do it to multiple bodies at the same time. So that's going to be a chamfer of 60 by 45 degrees per the dimension call out. And there we go. Now we've got that chamfer on those 4 posts. So now I'm going to press Shift 1, And that takes me into a front view. And then I'm going to choose the front plane. And I'm going to begin a new sketch here on the front plane. And then I'm going to create a rectangle using the center point rectangle command. Now, why center point rectangle? Because I can create this rectangle directly above the origin here, vertical to the origin, center point rectangle like so. And then for the width of this, I could make it like 10 inches, kind of match that circle diameter that I created at first. And then for the height of this, I can make this 1 inch. And there we go. There's that rectangle. And then I could add in a dimension here that goes from the base, or a little trick I like to use when I'm working in Onshape is you can dimension from a plane. So I'll go from this plane here to that rectangle, and I'll say that I want that to be a distance of 3.25. Now what I can do is I can create another center point rectangle, again vertical to the origin, like so. Okay, and then for this one is going to use a width here of 0.55, and then the height here is going to be 0.5. And then I can make that rectangle coincident or collinear to the original rectangle. And so there we go. There's our rectangle with the notch. S key extrude. And then here I'm going to press the space bar. The space bar will clear my selections and set me up so that I can then click here in this region to get the extrude with the notch. For the depth here, the depth is going to be 0.5. And then I'm going to press tab, 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 tab to get down to symmetry. And then I'll press the space bar to make sure that that thing is going symmetric. The final thing I'm going to do here, this is a little bit different from the 4 plastic feet. The final thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this an add. And I'm going to say I want it to merge scope. I'm going to say I want this to add, and I want it to merge with this post and this post. And so that gives me the notch for this part coming down from the top. And so, or coming up from the bottom. And so now I'm just going to kind of rinse and repeat from the right plane. So right plane, begin a sketch, get normal 2, center point rectangle. We're going to make sure that this is vertical to the origin. 10, enter, 1, enter. We're going to create another center point rectangle, again, vertical to the origin here. Okay, vertical to the origin. And we're going to make this one 0.55 and 0.5. And now this one's going to be a little different because now this is going to be coincident to that upper line. So I for coincident there. And then we'll add a dimension from the top plane to this lower edge here. And that dimension is 3.25. Of course, we could also make that collinear to the previous sketch or do other things to link the two together. Extrude, and this is going to be tab, 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 0.5. Tab, 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 symmetric. And then this is going to be an add, and the merge scope is going to be these 2 posts, this post and this post. And so hopefully that leaves us with these 2 wooden components that can be brought together. Although it looks like, what did I do? I did it as an extrude instead of a remove. There we go. Little, oh, no. I wanted that to be an extrude. What did I do? Oh, I picked the entire sketch. That's what happened. I forgot to do that step where I clicked the space bar to clear this. Forgot to do that step where I click the space bar. So space bar, that clears that, and then just pick this region. There we go. That looks better. See, before they were overlapping. Now we can see that gap. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and then what we can do is we can go over here to this part and this part in the parts list here. Go to those 2, and we're going to right click and we're going to say assign material for 2 parts. And then once we say we want to assign that material, that's going to come from the TTT custom material, and it's going to be this American cherry. So that's there's a video on how to set up your materials if you don't have the TTT custom materials, or TooTallToby.com/materials. So we'll take these 4 down here and we'll say assign material for 4 parts. And then we'll go in here to the TTT custom materials and we'll make those out of ABS. Okay, and this thing's looking pretty good, right? We didn't miss anything. We didn't forget about anything. So now we're going to go to the mass properties and we're going to select all of these bodies here. And we're coming up with a mass here of 0.673 pounds. So we go back into the app here and we type that in, 0.673, and enter. And oh, we got it wrong. Incorrect. Your answer, 0.673 pounds, is not within the specified tolerance. And this is the cool thing about the app, is that you get this feedback right away. So you're able to see the clock is still running, and you're able to go through and say, like, well, what did I do wrong? What did I miss? So we go through, we look at the drawing, and then we realize, oh, we forgot about the counter bores. Counter bore on the bottom, counter bore on the top. We forgot about that. Wow. That little tiny cut in the wood is going to be enough to knock us out of spec, huh? So we cancel out of this menu here, and then we go front plane, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to, and now we're going to create the geometry for that counter bore. So S key line, make sure you're vertical to the origin. I like to make this line a construction line when I'm doing a revolve or a cut revolve, and then we're going to create the geometry for the counter bore. So we'll come over here, we'll come down. Usually I do kind of like a hybrid of adding dimensions versus not adding dimensions. So like I'll come down here at 0.25 and add that dimension, but I won't add the dimension for the diameter of the holes, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension them off the construction line. So we'll come over here, we'll come down this way. This one's going to have a depth of 0.125 for that counter bore. We're going to come over here, and then we're going to close this sketch off by coming back up to the top here. And then we could jump into dimension, and we could say this diameter for the upper counter bore, that diameter is 0.375. This one for the hole, so dimension to the construction line, and then come over to get the double dimension, 0.25 for the hole. And then this one for the lower counter bore, 0.420. Okay, and then the final thing we just need to do is just align these to the geometry of these crossbars. So you could do that just by making them coincident to that crossbar. So hit escape, this point, this crossbar I, this point, oops, this point, this point, this crossbar I, kind of get them lined up. And now we're ready to turn that into a remove. So we say revolve, remove. And then for the revolve axis, you can choose this line here. And then for the merge scope, you're going to say, I want it to affect this and this part and this part. So that we're adding the counter bore to both of those parts at the same time. And it's kind of related, and it's a great way to design when you're doing multi-part design in a single part studio. So now we hit the check mark, and now we go here to our mass properties, and then we look at this whole thing, and now we're coming up with a mass of 0.671. That can't be it, right? It's only 0.002 different. So back that off, 0.67. Oh yeah, we did it. Let's go. And so that is how you are able to go through and solve these challenges at TooTallToby.com. And that is how you can kind of look at something that exists in the real world and then take that something and move it into 3D CAD. And it's a great thing to do. You know, a lot of times what people do is they ask, you know, what's a good way to learn 3D CAD? A good way to do it is to kind of look for things that exist around the office or things that exist around the house and try to turn them into 3D CAD models. It's fun. It's fun to see how realistic you can make them look. So we'll submit that answer, and that does it for that challenge. And now what we can do, or normally what we could do at this point, is we could go back through and we could look at what's called the first 42. So you can see here that so far on this challenge, we've had 10 people successfully solve this challenge. Of course, most of the people had a chance to look at the model ahead of time and kind of get a sneak preview. But the thing is, if we look here at the first 42, this gives us a list of when people solved it compared to when the model was released.